Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We're going to be tackling U.S. immigration today.
Yeah, big topic. Lots going on, especially in 2025.
Absolutely, and we know you're busy, so we went ahead and did the heavy lifting for you, sifted through all that material you sent
We
us.
zeroed in on 3 key things that we really think you'll want to know about,
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about how refugee resettlement is changing,
particularly for folks coming from South Africa.
right? And then we'll dig into winning those tricky EB-2 NIW cases, even with all the new, tougher requirements they keep adding.
Yeah, and of course, no deep dive into U.S. immigration would be complete without touching on the always hot topic of birthright citizenship. Always a lot of debate around that one.
For sure. And what's wild is looking at all this stuff, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. But honestly, there's some real opportunities hiding in these changes, too.
Oh, absolutely. But you got to know where to look, and you got to be prepared for the challenges, right?
Exactly. So first up, let's talk refugees.
Okay, picture this. You've fled a conflict. You've made it to the U.S. seeking safety.
You're thinking, okay, finally I can start to rebuild my life.
Right, exactly. And then bam, the rules change. It's like you're finally settling into that life raft, only to find out it's sprung a leak.
And that's the situation for a lot of refugees right now.
Especially those from South Africa. A lot of that has to do with the new executive order on refugee resettlement.
This executive order, it's more than just about who gets into the country at this point.
Oh yeah, it's completely changing the whole resettlement process as we know it.
So even if you're not a refugee yourself, I think it's worth wrapping our heads around what this shift really means.
Totally, because it's like a glimpse into the future. You see how U.S. policy is trending, and that might give you clues about what's coming down the pike for other immigration pathways, too.
Which is a perfect segue to our next topic. Let's talk EB-2 NIW.
All right, so for anyone who doesn't know, this visa is for those super talented professionals, the folks who can really bring something special to the U.S. job market.
They've got to prove they've got these exceptional abilities and that their work will benefit the U.S. A lot of people think to get this visa, you got to have patents, publications, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it used to be all about those traditional markers of success, but we came across this really interesting case study while doing research for this deep dive.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that, the civil engineer.
Exactly. Working in the electric vehicle sector, super hot field right now, right?
Big demand for those skills.
Huge. And this person, they got their NIW approved in record time. But here's the kicker. No patents, no publications.
Seriously. How'd they manage that?
Well, it all goes back to some new guidance that USCIS put out back in January 2025. They're really cracking down, putting a lot more emphasis on tangible evidence.
So it's not enough to just have people say nice things about you in recommendation letters anymore.
Not anymore. You got to have the receipts. And this engineer, they had them. They were able to prove they were a key player in this major U.S. infrastructure project. We're talking real impact on the U.S. economy.
So for our listeners out there, what's the main takeaway?
Show, don't tell. You got to be able to prove your value, And that's true whether you're applying for an NIW or even just trying to land a job. Think about it. What evidence do you have that backs up your claims?
Love it. Solid advice. All right, ready to dive into our last topic, the big one.
Hit me with it.
Birthright citizenship, the debate that never dies.
It all comes back to the 14th Amendment, the one they passed after the Civil War.
To guarantee citizenship for formerly enslaved people.
Yep. But it also says that anyone born on U.S. soil, boom, automatic U.S. citizen. Doesn't matter what their parents' immigration status is.
It's a pretty fundamental part of what it means to be American, right?
Exactly. It's baked right into the Constitution.
But you always hear this argument that the children of undocumented immigrants, they shouldn't get automatic citizenship.
Right, and it gets tricky because that argument, it kind of messes with a core principle of American identity.
And changing birthright citizenship, I mean, it's not just a legal debate, is it? It's about what kind of society we want to be.
100%. So even if all this immigration law stuff doesn't seem directly relevant to you, this is a debate worth paying attention to.
It's about values. It's about who we are as a nation.
Right, and no matter where you stand on the issue, knowing what the arguments are, well, that helps you have those tough conversations.
Okay, I think it's time for a quick recap. In today's deep dive, we explored how refugee resettlement is changing. It's not just about who gets in, it's about the whole process.
We also talked about how to win those EB-2 NIW cases, and the key takeaway there.
Evidence, evidence, evidence. Got to be able to prove your impact, not just talk about it.
And of course, we couldn't leave out the ever-present debate on birthright citizenship.
A real reminder that immigration, it's not just about laws and policies. It's about values. It's about what kind of country we want to live in.
And here's something to think about as you go about your day. Those big themes we talked about, needing solid evidence, knowing that policies can shift at any moment, fighting for those constitutional rights.
Those things pop up everywhere, right? Not just in the world of immigration.
Exactly. So pay attention. Think about how those themes show up in your own life, in your job, in your community. It's all connected.
Wow. So much to think about. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive. It's been enlightening as always.
You got it. 𝗤𝗍𝗍𝗍